Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this session today. Welcome to AdTech New Delhi. My name is Saurabh Khattar, and I lead India market for Integral AdScience. Today, I'm going to speak about power of context. Today morning, when I was coming to this session, I was looking at how to grab attention of my audience before lunch. Right? You must all be hungry. So I landed on this blog. And I was reading the tips and tricks and everything. And I was really engaged in that particular article. I was in a positive sentiment. And I kind of read this ad which said, this was by Simon Sinek, the Art of Presentation course. And I clicked on that. I was engaged with that. And that was a moment for me when that ad became really memorable and favorable for me. So that's the power of context. Now, why context? Everyone is talking about contextual targeting, why it's so important. Two main reasons, obviously because of the deprecation of the cookies and the privacy laws that are there, the GDPR, the CCPA, and the Indian regulations are also coming. So that's why I wanted to talk about the power of context today. At IIS, we have done a research about power of context, which I'll talk in detail about that. And we'll go into detail about this particular research. But now this contextual technology has gone from retro to revolutionary. Why is that? It has been there since decades, right? And but it was only keyword targeting. Now it has moved to technology like sentiment analysis, like natural language processing. And I'm further going to deep down into this particular technology. Now, by show of hands, how many of you think this cat is going up the stairs? Quite a few. And how many of you think this cat is going down the stairs? This is a famous illusion and a meme on internet. In order to get the context of world around us, our brain really relies on the, the context cues, what is around this particular image. If there would have been a furniture, people, any other imagery around this, we would have guessed where this cat is going. This is another good example, one of my favorites. Now, the artwork in this ad seems to contradict the traditional marketing for a luxury perfume brand. Until you see the headline, which says Happy Mother's Day, which provides the context for this artwork. Consumers have an emotional touch with this ad now. They can connect with this advertisement. Now the question is the impact of context only intended to the advertising placement, or is the context influenced by the surrounding content of the environment? Uh, so again, we did a research at IS, an online survey, asking consumers how they feel about different ads around different placements and how the sentiment of that particular page can affect the advertisements and their thinking about the brand. Now, we showed our consumers real-world examples, and 3 out of 4 people chose the ads which are in a contextually relevant environment. Always they chose this. Another thing is 9 out of 10 people preferred an ads which are around the relevant content. And not only just they preferred it, the perception of the brand was changed. The perception of the brand in a contextually relevant article changed the opinion of the brand for them. Now, we showed different articles to our consumers in different categories, in telco category, F&B, finance articles, retail articles. The consumers were consistent with their choice. They always preferred an ad which was around a relevant content or an article. Now, it's not just about the preference and perception. Other than that, like I was talking about initially, how my memorability and favorability increased while I was coming to this venue and I saw this ad about art of presentation. Similarly, consumers have also agreed that their memorability and favorability increase if the ad is around relevant article. Like 91% of the people find it more memorable and 95% of the people have a more better favorability towards a brand which is in a relevant environment. Another interesting fact is that it's not just about the preference and perception, it's also about sentiment. Now, what I mean by sentiment is, when a consumer is reading a content, what kind of feeling it gives to the consumer? Is it a positive, it's neutral, it's in a negative manner? And consumers understand the shift in the sentiment. And we found that maximum or the majority number of consumers feel that the sentiment of that particular page really affects the opinion of the brand which is placed around it. I just spoke about the IS research that we did. Now I'll talk about how this technology has gone from retro to revolutionary. What changes has been there since decades. So in this research, we found that the word shoot, shot, shooting, or its similar form, these are the most commonly blocked keywords. But an interesting fact, that 76% of the content around this particular words is completely safe. And more than that, it's not only safe, it's also a lot of premium content that is associated around it, like photo shoots, or winning shot, soccer shot, the shoot videos, or like Virat Kohli's shot selection, things like that. And if brands and marketers are only using the keyword technology, they not only miss out on the scale, but also a lot of safe and premium content around it. So IS has developed this technology, which is a cognitive semantic technology, which uses natural language processing. It's a patented technology. I'm using a lot of tech jargon, but just to make you understand, the NLP, which is natural language processing, it reads the page just like a human brain, but with the speed of computer, and it understands all the keywords on the page. It understands all the sentiment on the page. We go through nouns, verbs, adverbs, even things like quotes and humors on the page, and try to give a kind of a score to a page. We can tell if the page is negative in sentiment, positive, or neutral in sentiment. This is a very good example. You see on the screen. I visited the Big Apple and went to the Apple store while eating an apple. Now the apple word is used 3 times here, but with different meanings. Apple mentioned in a form of a New York City, or Apple store, which is Apple as an electronic, or Apple as a fruit. Now this technology is able to differentiate between these 3 words and is able to help marketers and brands to target the right audience in the right environment. So To prove the power of concept, we have been doing a lot of case studies with brands, agencies, and marketers. And we did this one with Bench Media in APAC. And they utilized IS context control technology, and we found some amazing results. This was like, we saw 21% increase in click-through rate. There was 19% improvement in CPA, 10% increase in completion rate, and similar metrics. Now, this is the power of context, and what we have seen is also, 30% of the marketers have already shifted to this contextual targeting. And the contextual targeting market, as per research, it's gonna be $335 billion by 2026. So that's the power of context, and that's why a lot of marketers are shifting towards it. First, because the technology has changed from retro to revolutionary, and second, because of the privacy laws, they are trying to find out another targeting solution which is good. And we have seen a lot of case studies with great numbers. So that's it from my end today. You have been a lovely audience. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. I think we have time.
We do have room for one question at least, yes.
Yeah, okay, if you have any questions. Yes, you can connect with me offline. I'll be here for the next day also, and this is my email ID. That was my email ID in the last slide, but it's okay. So thank you so much. You have been an amazing audience. Thank you so much.